Most schools have already been in session for a month by now, maybe even longer, but have you noticed that maybe your child is acting differently or hasn't quite adjusted to the new routine? Well, child development expert from Building All Children, Kendra Morgan, is here with us again to talk about routines and where we should be here a month into school. Good morning, Kendra.
Good morning. Good morning.
So just like on the broader question right off the top, what are some examples of just the changes that children are going through right now?
Yeah, you know, a lot. I think that they have been home more than usual because of COVID. So they are developing new routines and getting back into the daily school routine, and it's an adjustment. It's a big adjustment.
Some technology as well, because obviously a lot of schools use technology, but then we have that technology and there's just a lot of screen time at homes at times.
Yes, you know, we always say be so cautious of the screen time. Know how often and how long they're on it. It's just, they're on it and time goes away and you don't realize, but they're on it during the day, and when they come home, they don't need to be on it. Try to really limit that.
Some great examples here of obviously COVID and screen time and kind of what at one time was a necessity. You know, the full screen, I wanted to show this graphic because it's kind of gives us a roadmap of where we're going, focusing on eating and sleeping in younger children. Let's talk about sleep first, Kendra, kind of on the left side of the screen. This is different. Summer versus school time. Right,
it's different and it's changing for them. And when you start to change the sleep pattern of children, it kind of messes with them a little bit. And so they are tired. I think that's the #1 thing parents need to know, is that they are tired. Their naps are different, and bedtime routine is different. You need to start it sooner. At summer, we let them stay up later. We let them have more fun. They've got to get to bed earlier because they're waking up earlier. The buses are showing up earlier. They've got to get up, get ready. So the sleep is different. It's changing, which makes a new routine, but it also makes children tired. We have to be aware of that.
And when they're tired, a lot of things can go wrong, right? I mean, you've got mood changes.
Oh my gosh, right? It affects everything.
Because so like, for example, my children at home, when we're talking about maybe he's acting out, one of the things we look at, we're looking at sleep. And we're looking at eating first before we start, you know, diving into the what's wrong with my child books, right?
No, it's the two basic things that they have to have in order to be able to learn. We're talking basic, but they're major needs. That we need to be aware of them.
Let's talk about eating as well. Obviously, we just talked a little bit about eating, but what can we expect in terms of changes with our eating habits?
Well, so this is the thing. We live in a society where the kids snack all day. And when they're at school, they are not snacking all day. So they're hungry. So when they get home from school, they're hungry. So feed them. Feed them a snack. We always say it's great to have a drawer or a tub that they can choose from, but you have control of what they're eating, so they're not eating a lot of junk. And then know that they ate a big old snack after school. They're probably not going to be hungry for dinner, so you're going to have to push dinner to be later. So you have to change the routine of eating also.
I wanted to ask you about that's great advice for eating, you know, pushing things later, snacking when we get home. How do we fix sleep? And I know that this is a big loaded question, but if they do or don't nap at school, how does that change what we do at home in terms of bedtime? Because they're home from school, so the time for napping is kind of already over.
Right, yeah, it's too late, right? So you're probably gonna end up bumping their nighttime routine earlier. So then when do you eat dinner? And so you probably have to have that 4 o'clock snack smaller. Like, you have to think through the whole evening. And we always say to give an extra 10 minutes at bedtime, because once they lay flat, they remember their day. So that's when they're gonna tell you who they ate lunch with, what they did at recess, what they learned from their teacher, is when they go to bed. And that's when we're the tiredest and we want them to go to bed. But you have to give them a few extra minutes so that they can tell you about their day.
Yeah, not rushing them. I am interested to know about naps, because naps, especially, when do we know when a child is ready to move on from naps? And you know, maybe they're done napping.
Yeah, so they're gonna tell you. When you lay them down and they don't fall asleep, they're outgrowing that nap time. If they are really tired and grumpy, they still need their naps. And so their behavior will tell you when their nap time is important.
That's great. One last thing that we really wanted to get to, you brought this up, parent-teacher communications. What are some advice on communicating with our teachers and teachers' assistants?
Yeah, so Building All Children just finished our huge teacher workshop, and we communicated to the teachers on how to communicate to the parents. And I think on both sides, we have to be careful. So the parents have to not be defensive, it's our babies, but listen to what the teachers' concerns are, what their needs are, and know that together as a team, you can really impact that child.
As always, Kendra, great advice. I can't believe we packed this much into 5 minutes. You have so many great things to say. We'll see you next month.
Awesome. Thank you.